What's up, guys? So today I want to talk a bit about a video that Austin Aganowski put out, and thanks to him, he gave me permission to be able to reference the video. But I'm gonna put the link to his video in the description box, so you guys could and should go check it out in its entirety. It's just 4 minutes long. Um, he does a really good job of just getting to the point, condensing everything down, and you can understand what he's talking about. Um, so in either case, this is about employees that are just, they're giving you the lowdown on what's really going on at Motorsport Games. This isn't really new. I saw this before, but you can see. Well, this is actually a new, I guess a report from somebody, but I saw another one earlier this year where people were talking about the conditions at the company. But this is pretty much more along the same lines. So the pros is they own some great IPs. That's all they do. This company is just basically a corporate shark. They just swallow up other companies and then they end up destroying them. So they feel like if we just corner the market, own everything, and people have no choice but to come to us if they want anything having to do with motorsports in general. So people that enjoy racing of any kind, they're going to be giving us their money for something. That's their business model. It does make sense on paper, but they feel like even if we serve up garbage, if we're the only ones giving them any content, they're going to just buy it anyway. That's the mentality behind all this. So it says here, sorry, mistake to avoid. So here's the cons, right? So they own some great IPs. I wouldn't even call that a pro. Like I said, they have no competition. They're just buying out the competition, basically. So I don't see this as a pro. I guess it's a pro on their end. But here's the cons. Communication is terrible. I'm not surprised at all. The divide between the UK and Australia office made working cohesively impossible. Expectation is that we were to start early or work late or both. Yeah, it's never a good thing when you're spread out all over the map. You got people from completely different continents trying to work together, and the time zones are way off. But even if that wasn't an issue, it's tough to do things remotely. It really is. Unless you are all on the same page, and it's impossible to be all on the same page. It's just I don't see that ever working especially for projects like this. And I don't want to think this way, but I'm not sure it's ever been a good idea, especially for NASCAR games, to be developed by people who are from other countries. Now, I don't feel comfortable saying that because a NASCAR fan, to me, it's a universal thing. It doesn't matter where you're from. If you're a real hardcore NASCAR fan and you understand the sport, it doesn't matter where you come from. That being said, the track record for people outside of the United States working on these games is very bad. Utechnics was based in Britain, or where I don't. Was it Britain or England or whatever? It doesn't matter. You have Europeans working on NASCAR games. They're not everything's gonna translate. They're just gonna miss on the key details, and I think it is a culture shock for some of these guys. They're being told to work on something that is just not something they're familiar with. Now, if you're talking about British Touring Car Championship, okay, I could have some faith that maybe they get it. But anyway, I don't want to get too much deeper into that. But management does not listen to its developers and producers. None of this is surprising. No leadership. The boss was away most weeks attending racing events and having a good time. Yeah, because it's all he's a car salesman. All these people at the top, the management positions, they're just partying. They're siphoning whatever money's there to have a good time. and just the marketing side of things is always going to be the best part because you're the one out there traveling, having a good time, attending these festivities, these events. So you're having a good time while the people that are actually working on these games, they're stuck in some fucking cubicle somewhere. So yeah, this isn't good at all. No vision for the future. Most days there was nothing to do. Project has come to a standstill. Yeah, there's no money. Everybody knows that. Ignorant of timeless timelines, pressured timelines, despite several warnings from myself. Advice to management: be honest with your employees. Yeah, but you would have to assume that the people you're talking about actually care, that their intentions are good. These guys are scam artists. They have a track record. They've I've already told you about all the past other businesses that they've gone or started or and then just ended up the thing ends up crashing and burning and they move on to something else. This is just another thing along their portfolio. They don't learn because they don't want to learn. That's not their intention. It's to success to be they to them success is to be able to raise enough money where they can enrich themselves and then move on. So they're not going to be honest with their employees because that goes against everything they're doing. Don't tell me that people are this inept, right? Because this is on purpose. So I just want you to hear real quick what Austin Organowski has to say, which is pretty much, if you've been watching my content, I've pretty much told you the same thing, but here you go.
21 expansion pack or NASCAR 23, the IndyCar game, the BTCC game, or the Le Mans game, they've just stopped working on it. So once again, for some of the younger kids who watch my content and maybe it's not really sinking in for them, if you're holding out hope for this NASCAR expansion that's supposed to release in a few months, or next year's NASCAR game, or the IndyCar game, or the Le Mans game, or the BTCC game, gotta hate having to say those all in one go. They're not even working on them.
Remember what I told you in one of my recent videos? This is all bullshit, man. People think they're going to get more than what they're really going to get. And I'm telling you, this is nothing more what's coming for the season pass. It's going to be just rosters and paint schemes, updates. Now, there is a chance that maybe they can skin the next gen car, right? There's already a next gen car like that bullshit they released where you can only drive one car by yourself on the Daytona track. So they do have a car model. They can expand that, but you think they're gonna update the schedule to match the current schedule? There's tracks I think that they're running this year they weren't running the previous year. You think they're gonna add tracks to this game? That's not gonna happen. So I've been telling people you're not gonna get what you think you're getting, and I don't think people should give these people a fucking dime. You're supposed to prove yourself first, and this mentality that people have that we have to give these people our money so they can use that money to make better games. I hope a lot of people are finally starting to break free of that stupid ideology, that mentality of that the consumer is supposed to help these companies make better products by giving them their money. That's not how it works. You're supposed to make a good product and then people buy that product because it's a good product, and then you use that money to make better products. That's the way it's supposed to work. And this started years ago, and I've been talking about this for years. These people that come out and tell you that you're supposed to support this company or these companies financially so that they can make better products. Are you finally ready to accept what I'm telling you? That that's a stupid way to see things as a consumer? I hope so.
Their former employees are going and venting on Glassdoor that they weren't even doing anything at work their last couple of weeks. I'm actually starting to feel...
Remember, I told you recently, they're still saying they're trying to hire more people. With what? They're looking to hire more and more developers. The ones they have now aren't doing much of anything. This is all bullshit. I told you that Dmitry Kosko is a salesman. So his main goal is to get the public to think that they're actually working on these games. That there's still that glimmer of hope that we're gonna at some point get something more. There's nothing happening. There's no money. These people are desperate. So I think they're gonna swing for the fences one last time, which to me is this upcoming season update and this upcoming Switch game for Nintendo, that rival game. So this is really all they have, in whatever condition they're in. I wouldn't be shocked if they're unfinished. They're just gonna go for that one last hurrah before this whole thing collapses. Anybody who thinks that these people are actually going to release NASCAR 23, a brand new game, they're saying rebuild using a different engine, you got to be insane. I've been telling you guys, it took them 4 years to create this garbage of NASCAR 21 Ignition. 4 years. And this is at the height of Motorsport Games, because at that point, nobody really knew what was going on. And they had the maximum amount of investment dollars, and they were going out and buying up all these properties. I think that's where most of the money went. They were just out there making sure that they took all these IPs, and they said, we'll worry about how we're going to make all this work later. We have to own this. So they don't want competition. They want to eliminate competition by just buying them out. But they never really had a roadmap as to what happens once you own these IPs. That Kartcraft game, that was already a franchise. Somebody else made that, developed it, and they just came in and bought it. So that is already something that existed. You can't give Motorsport Games any credit. They just own it now. So I think that was their main goal, and they just didn't have a follow-up plan. They just said, we'll figure it out as we go. We'll hire more developers. We'll make it work. Because that's the way they've always done things. Whatever other projects they've ever had, and now they're making video games. I mean, it's such a big clusterfuck.
Feel really bad though for some of the comments I've seen here and there on YouTube. They're not everywhere, but you'll notice them when you see them, from either kids or just extreme casual racing game fans who claim they're either cautiously optimistic about the next set of titles from Motorsport Games, or they're just going to wait it out and pass judgment when the game comes out.
Yeah, they're going to be in for quite a shock when they find out that it's just going to be more and more of the same. This season update that's coming, it's going to disappoint people who are expecting, they're expecting way too much. So I think that these guys they don't want to let people know how bad things really are, even though it's leaking out. Because the more it leaks out, the less people are going to go out and support them and buy the season pass. You're still going to have lemmings, like always. They'll go out and buy and support it, because there are still people who think, they need my money. So I want to make sure that NASCAR 23 is all it can be. And the only way they can do that is if we buy whatever they have to offer now. And that's what they're banking on. So it's going to get ugly. They're not going to make much of a profit, I don't think. And really, you have to be insane if you think that they're going to come out with a brand new game that's rebuilt using a different engine in a year and a half. And that's giving them the benefit of the doubt. Because remember, NASCAR 21 it's not even a year old. So I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt that they already had started this new engine and this new build of the game, right? Even giving them the benefit of the doubt, it's insane to think that they're going to develop a game for 2023 in a year and a half. And look what they produced after 4 years at the height of their funds, their fundraising, right? Because before NASCAR 21 was released, very few people knew what was going on, and everyone had high hopes, including me. I saw the screenshots. I saw some of the gameplay, which wasn't a lot. So there was hope. It's like, look, this thing looks polished. It looks like a AAA game, but you can edit anything to make it look any way you want, and that's deceptive. So I don't know what else to tell you guys, but they're not even working on anything. They're just kind of sitting around because there's no money. They are putting all their eggs in one basket with this season update and this Nintendo Switch game that's coming this year, later this year. And they're just going to say, we're going to maximize whatever we can in terms of profits out of that. And then just, I guess people will find out after that, whatever happens, happens. And we'll move on. These guys all have golden parachute packages. And Dmitry Kosko already made countless millions off this whole project, which is really a scam from the looks of it. And even the employees know. So I'm going to put a link in the description to Austin's video. Go check it out in its entirety. It's just 4 minutes long. He's kind of, he does it the opposite way of what I do. I talk a lot, but he gets to the point, and he's very good. And like, you watch the video and you know exactly what's happening. So go check it out. And I appreciate him for letting me use his content. But yeah, that's pretty much what's going on. I really do not enjoy giving bad news. I don't like this. I know that I've had people tell me, "Oh, you're too negative. You know, all you do is..." Well, what am I supposed to do? Am I supposed to bullshit people and tell them that things are looking up when they're not? I'm being honest with you guys so you don't waste your money, so that you stop supporting bad business practices. These people do not deserve a dime. So I don't suggest people get this season pass or this Nintendo Switch game, which is not, it's not the same as obviously as this 21 Ignition garbage. But the point is, even like NASCAR Heat 5, I have thought about buying it again because I miss having a video game where you have a career mode, even though it was shallow. It's something. I don't have that now. All I have now is iRacing, and yeah, it's just such a mixed experience. I do enjoy it at times. Other times I don't. I was in a race yesterday, and I was in the back just riding it out. I wanted just to I get my safety rating up because I had a couple of bad races that I got caught up in wrecks, and I just wanted to build the safety rating back up a little bit. And some guy who was already in a wreck earlier, he slowed down on the track, and all of a sudden he just comes and swerves up into me and just completely destroys my car. Just for fun. And I'm like, you know what? You think that you join iRacing, you're going to get a clean experience. It's not always the case. And this isn't the first time this has happened. I've had people try to purposely wreck me before. And I'm like, I'm paying a monthly subscription for this shit. It's expensive. And I can't even get the full enjoyment out of it. There's no career mode. It's fun to race the AI. The AI is really good. It's not perfect. It does need work. But it's as good as you can expect from anything. So I wish iRacing would put some more work into the AI side of things and maybe develop even a simple career mode like we see with the Heat series. I would be thrilled with that. I just want something that I can enjoy that doesn't rely on real fucking people on the racetrack, which is a mixed bag. So I do enjoy iRacing, but it's not it'll never deliver what a video game is supposed to deliver. And unfortunately, we've been stuck with one developer after another who are just giving us substandard games. But NASCAR Heat 5, compared to anything Motorsport Games has done, is at least a playable game, and it does have certain bright spots. But I've been resisting the temptation to buy it because I don't want to give these people my money, and that's why I haven't done it, and I don't think I will, because I don't want to give these people money. They don't deserve it, and they're gonna profit. They're continuing to profit off of a game, a franchise they didn't even build. Right? This was 704's thing, and now they own it. So I don't like that they're gonna continue to make money off of it, and I don't want to play a role into it. So I'm really conflicted. I have days where I'm like, man, I should just buy it and download it and just have some fun with it, because yeah, the career mode, it never really delivered like to what I'm expecting in today's day and age. But just compared to this garbage, at least you can have some fun with it. But then there's that other side of me, and I don't. It goes against everything that I've been preaching to you guys, is to not feed in a bad business model. So that's why I haven't gotten it again. I had it on console, and I thought about maybe getting it on PC, and I don't know, man. It's a real conflict for me, and that's why I haven't done it, and I don't think I will. So anyhow, those are my thoughts. I don't. It's just insane. I just leave this much open for the fact that maybe we'll see a game in 2023, only because I'm not a game developer and I don't understand how all of this really works at the most technical level. Things like where they're saying we're using a whole new game engine, and I'm like, I don't fully understand what they're saying, because is this a real ground up, completely brand new project, or are they taking NASCAR 21 and changing the game engine and then tweaking a bunch of shit? I don't really understand what they mean by this new build or rebuild, and they're so disingenuous with their rhetoric, and I don't know what to take from it, except that based on everything they've done so far, they're bullshitters. So I don't buy any of it. I don't buy any of it, and I definitely don't believe they can build a new game in a year and a half. So the only thing that might make sense is if they take NASCAR 21 and change the game engine and make tweaks. But I always thought you couldn't do that. I'm not a game developer. I wasn't aware you could do that. Doesn't make sense to me that you can, but maybe you can. I don't know. That's above my head. But in either case, I really don't think we're going to see a game. I think they're just dangling that carrot for investors and for people to continue supporting the garbage they release, because that's the only profit they're going to make. So they're going to scam all the way to the bitter end. So anyhow, those are my thoughts. Yeah, I look forward to your comments later.